The month of January 2022 has been pretty hectic in the worlds of both Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy. No matter which side you find yourself on, it's been tense seeing these two rap titans throw shade at each other and almost daring the other one to clap back. Then again, going down that road doesn't always make for a happy ending for everyone involved. It's no secret that Youngboy's been on house arrest, but that doesn't mean he's kept quiet. After throwing some legitimate shade at King Von on one of his latest tracks, Bring the Hook, Durk wanted to stand up for his friend real quick, taking to social media to call Youngboy out. Durk wasn't necessarily alone here either, since Youngboy diss of the entire O-Town scene had made more and more people coming for him. Even Von's sister calling him out for working on Demon Time. This is a rap war though, and Youngboy wasn't gonna go out just because he had a few nasty barbs thrown at him. If anything, we've already got some new songs about him doubling down on his beef, if you take him at his word on the lyrics of Know Like I Know. This time around though, Youngboy isn't just talking himself up as some hopeful trying to stir up some buzz. Instead of just calling him out, all he left up is an image of stacks of cash organized in the middle of a floor saying, "Y'all gonna die." It's at this point that I'll remind you that this was a man still placed on house arrest, and yet he's still acting like he's bulletproof and afraid of no one. Since Durk is known to be quick with his timing though, he ended up taking a page out of his rival's playbook with a pic on Instagram saying that he should hurry with a comment. We colorblind, but we still see red. Most other rappers would try to at least put the issue to rest by now, but it looks like neither of these two men are gonna give up. Out of all the people to intervene though, we've actually gotten a bit of sage wisdom from Wiz Khalifa. Aside from his usual social media presence, Wiz definitely has his fellow rappers on his mind these days, saying don't go broke trying to count that money on the float. Although this could easily just be a callback to Youngboy's earlier rap name of never going broke again. It sounds more like Wiz is trying to look out for the new school. From day one, Wiz has never really had to go to bat with Youngboy or Durk, but a world without either of them isn't something that the rap game really wants to see either. If you really think about it, Youngboy and Durk are the kind of rappers that are from the next generation after Wiz, so he might be making his own attempt to increase the peace. At the same time, did you notice how that line was left just vague enough to get people talking? Since he didn't have anything to say about Youngboy and Durk making up, it could mean the exact opposite as well. For all we know, Wiz might be watching from the sidelines and waiting for a real battle between these two. And the crazy part, this isn't even the last time this has happened. As fate would have it, Durk and Youngboy seem to have started some strange trend in the world of hip-hop lately, since people like Future have been adopting the same tactic on their own social media accounts. You even have Durk's pal Duty Low pulling a few tricks from his friend, going on to write "She Lied" in reference to the beef he's been having with FT and Bay for the past few weeks. We also can't forget about the first time this happened way back in the day, when 50 Cent first spelled out broke and money on his doorstep, while Soulja Boy doing it when he was riding high. If anything, the joke of writing with money should be played out at this point, but it looks like Durk and Youngboy are trying to put some real aggression behind their messages. As much as Wiz might be trying to do his part in the hip-hop world, we also have to see how the fan base is feeling about everything as well. If you look at what people are saying about Wiz's statement, it looks like people are willing to increase the peace, with one comment seeming to stand by Wiz's peace stance. There are even some fans tweeting Wiz's philosophy back to him in support of what he's been saying. In between the millions of likes and replies, you have one fan that quoted, "I'm not gonna stop pushing until I make my dream money." The real problem behind these situations though is how much your emotions are tied up in things. And one fan has said it's gonna take a lot more than just one tweet to squash this whole thing. May seem easier on paper, but actually following through is a little bit tougher. Then again, you also have to look at what the comments have been saying alongside Youngboy and Durk's posts. If you look at the post that Durk made on Instagram, you have the fans split almost right down the middle. You have one fan who might be concerned that things are getting a little bit out of control, and then you have fans on the other side egging him on. They're not the only ones either. On Youngboy's pic of his stack of his cash lined up, you have fans that are in his corner, and one fan going so far as to say that Youngboy is going against the whole industry, starting with Durk. It's not like they're necessarily wrong to follow him though. If there's one thing that people love in hip-hop, it's an underdog. From the sound of it, he's gonna come out of his house arrest with zero filter. There are some fans though that are a little bit more skeptical about why Wiz suddenly cares about this trend all of a sudden. You even have one fan calling him out, saying that he probably just tweeted that to impress people. Not like that isn't a possibility either. Wiz may be trying to have his ear close to the ground, but since this kind of trend has been happening since he was first getting off the ground, it does tend to sound like an older rapper trying to sound hip with the kids these days. So is there any way that Wiz is going to be able to squash this beef? As of right now, it's hard to say. Durk and Youngboy are still seething with rage at each other. From what he said though, we might need to keep an eye on how Wiz responds to everything. He might look like the concerned uncle looking out for the kids, but once everything starts to go down, chances are no one's going to be safe. That's all we know about the beef right now though. What do y'all think of the Youngboy and Durk counting their money on the floor? Also, do you think that Wiz is really invested in this, or is he just trying to get himself some buzz by riding the coattails of this thing? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments and let everyone know. Other than that, make sure you keep it tuned in.